One of my most asked questions is I'm a Cricut beginner. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what kind of machine to buy. I don't know what kind of tools to buy. And I don't know what type of materials I need to get started. This is where we're going to show you everything you need. So let's get started. The first question people always ask is what machine's right for me. There's the Cricut Joy, the Cricut Explorer, and the Cricut Maker. There's also a Cricut Explorer Air 2 and a Cricut Maker 3. When looking at the differences between the 2 and the 3, there's really not that much, so I always advise if you're on a budget, just going with the 2. If you have the money to spend, then you can totally go with the 3, but it's not necessary. The true differences are the 2 have a knob on the Cricut Explorer Air 2, as the 3 does not. The other major key differences is they both cut smart vinyl. Smart vinyl is a Cricut vinyl, and I don't personally like the Cricut vinyl, so therefore for me, it's really not a benefit to have the Cricut 3. It cuts a little bit faster. At the end of the day, I don't know that it's truly worth the money, but like I said, if you're on a budget, the great way to go is getting an Explorer Air 2 or just the original Cricut Maker. If you have the money to spend and want the nicest, newest product, you can get the Maker 3 or the Cricut Explorer Air 3. Now, the last product is the Cricut Joy. The Cricut Joy is a smaller, condensed Cricut Maker, Cricut Explorer Air. It's only 6 inches, whereas the Explorer and the Maker cut up to 12 inches. So if you're looking for those smaller projects, label making, maybe some small shirt designs, the Cricut Joy might be for you. These are for smaller projects or if you don't have the space to store it. Now let's talk about the materials you need to get started. First off, you're gonna need some Cricut mats. You're gonna need a light grip, a standard grip, and a strong grip. You don't necessarily need all of those, and if you only choose one, go with the standard grip. You don't have to buy the Cricut products for anything. That's the first thing to know. Next thing you're gonna need is some tools. A typical tool set is gonna have your weeder, a scraper, and a spatula. You might get lucky and find something with tweezers. I personally love the tweezers, but if you can't find those, then the weeding tool is gonna be your best option. You're also gonna probably want an X-Acto knife. Those are great when you're just trying to conserve that vinyl. Now that you have all the basic tools, let's talk about what kind of materials you need. If you're doing iron-on projects, you need heat transfer vinyl. HTV is what it's short for, so if you see HTV, that is also heat transfer vinyl. 2 of my favorite heat transfer vinyls are Caesar and HTV Ront. Again, these are for ironing on designs onto a shirt or a canvas or something that you are gonna have to use heat for. In that sense, you're gonna need something to use that, to make the heat, to put it on. Right? So there's a couple options. You can go with a standard iron. You can go with an easy press. They do have knockoff Cricut versions. I know HTV Ront makes one. Or you can go with the heat press. The heat presses are a little more expensive, but they're definitely going to be the best option if you're looking for making a bulk amount of shirts. Now for permanent and removable vinyl, there's a couple brands I like to go with. Tack Wrap is always my number one, and Oracle. If you need to go with a cheaper version, you can go with Paper Studio, which is from Hobby Lobby. I never personally go with any of the Cricut brand vinyls when it comes to heat transfer or iron-on. I find that they're more expensive and the quality is a little bit less. You're also gonna need transfer tape. This is probably one of the most important things. Transfer tape, my favorite go-to is Frisco Craft. I also love the Tack Wrap and the Caesar. So you have the standard tools you need to get started. There's a couple other things that you can add. You can add a light pad. This is just gonna help the weeding process a little bit easier. You can add an eye-vine berry or something similar to it, just collects your scraps. You can always have a spare of all these tools, mats, vinyls, different things like that, just to have a backup in case. You might want to keep some scissors on hand, but hopefully you already have those in your house. If you are doing heat transfer vinyl and plan on using your heat press or your easy press, or even an iron sometimes, you're gonna want some Teflon sheets just to create that barrier between your project and the heat source. So that's all you really need to get started. It seems like a lot, but it's really not that much. It kind of comes down to what kind of projects you're trying to do. If you're trying to do more heat transfer vinyls and make shirts, or if you're trying to make cups and different things like that, where you'll kind of go that permanent route of making, maybe even decals for some cars. Whatever that project is, hopefully this is a good base to get started in your Cricut crafting projects. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow along as I'll be going through different projects, different materials you need for those projects, and how to get those done step by step.